Hey guys, what's up everyone? Welcome back again to yet another video tutorial lesson from the Apex Predator Billiards Training Club. My name is Apexelgenio, your aspiring professional pool player and a pool instructor. Now in today's video, I'm going to be highlighting yet again another young talent that is located within my area. Well, young in terms of experience, young in terms of competition wise, but in terms of how long he has been playing, he's been on the circuit for a while, underground player, and we don't talk about him a lot. And I felt like, hey, I found these couple of footages in my archive to which he was playing pretty well. He actually won this particular tournament for the first time in a long time, and I decided that, hey, why not show the audience and also have something for him to look back on for 2023. So of course, let's look at how he goes about these two particular 8-ball rocks. He got the better of me, even though I made a very good attempt in trying to get things done, but he did really play it very well and got it done. So of course, hit the subscribe button below and let's jump right into the video. So I'm going to be starting off again yet with that side rail break, and you'll see the consistency in that particular break where it goes into the side rail and it goes somewhere back towards the middle of the table. Now depending on how hard I play it, it may end up scratching into the top right, or sometimes it will scratch into the side and gets kicked around. So this was not perhaps the most productive break. A lot of clusters are near the rock area here, so everything is not going to be a clean run. May have to do some development of the balls that are located near the rock area, but let us see how I go about it. Obviously I only have one really good opening shot, which is the 15 ball here, so I just roll that in and try to play position here for another ball. Now I'm not so certain, the camera is a bit blurry from where I'm looking at from now, but I'm kind of looking at the problem already, the 11 ball that is tied up into the cluster. Now, right, so that's what I was concerned about. I wasn't sure if that was a solid or a strike ball. So yes, that's the 9 ball. Knocking it in, coming 2 rails. And you can see that I was actually trying to play position for the problem ball immediately. Now, you see I walk around and I have a look. Definitely shaking the head there. Didn't roll up as far as I can, and that was a very small window for me to actually enter into. So you can see I'm peeping, I'm stooping down to see if maybe I could squeeze past, maybe use a bit of spin-induced throw to throw the ball in. But it would be really nice if I could get that 11 ball right now. It would be really nice if I could just knock it out now, but not too much. May have to change my plan, and this is something that we have to always be ready to do. You may have a plan in mind and you under roll or you over roll, and then you have to really reconstruct the plan. So I'm gonna try to get back into that position in a moment, but I'm on that ball drawback. I can see again I was trying to actually get back into that zone there again, but again the draw was way too heavy on that shot. So now I'm on the 14. I don't see if the 14 can pass. It doesn't seem that way. But I'm on the 12. Seems as if I'm going to be playing position for the 14. I'm drawing back. So I'm going to try again to get on that 11. You can see once again I'm trying. So that was my third attempt trying to get that 11, because there's a large window. Well, it's large enough to get into, but for some reason I just seem to cannot land on that 11. Now I'm in trouble. And one of the things that I find very consistent with why I'm unable, or not unable, I've been very consistent in running back-to-back 8-ball rocks over the years that I've been playing, is that my break is not the strongest, and I definitely have some work to put into my pattern. Now my shot making ability really hides that, but I am very analytical about my game. I always watch what I'm doing. And so for example here, this shot here, this cross corner bank, or this cross corner long rail bank here, is just really the fact that I'm in trouble and I don't really have a choice. And look at this shot here. Oh, that's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Really nice, and even bumping out the 11 perfectly here. So all all along I was actually trying to land onto that 11 in that small space, when eventually I could have actually just banked the ball and break up the cluster. Now I have to say that even though I made the shot, it was never my intention to even bank that ball. I believe that I was actually just in trouble and I didn't have much of a choice. And now I got very fortuitous in terms of the result after that bank. Now it gets a little tricky here because it's very close to the rail and I'm using the bridge. This is not one of my favorite tools on the table. And you'll see here where I try to spin it in to get position back onto the 14. And this is where now I invited Courtney to come onto the table. Now Courtney is a very ferocious player. We have our battles in the past. But he's one of those type of players that I had mentioned in one of my previous tutorials, that he just really hits the ball very hard. I think he's overly zealous, overly confident sometimes, and he just goes for shots. Sometimes he doesn't really think about what he's doing, he just does it. And most times not most times, some of the times it does work out, and he really gets the crowd. He's really an entertaining player. He really gets the crowd alive. And in this particular tournament, I think I have to meet Courtney twice, and that what you just see him do there is not something he does very often. He doesn't really, I'm not sure if it's safe to say that he doesn't like to play safe, because he knows that he needs to when he's playing with a high level player. But it's something that I don't see him do very often. It doesn't matter how the bank is or how the cut shot is, he'll go after it and the cue ball will go wild on the table sometimes. But it's sometimes very entertaining to see when he does this. Now, he played a really good safety here. He's not in complete full attack mode here. So he played a nice little safety here, leaving me with only a jump. I'm unable to see the 11 ball. But jumping is one of my favorite aspects of the game. Statistically speaking, I have probably about a 65% success rate when it comes to jumping and making the shot. Like for example, this one, I will be able to hop the cue ball over the obstacle. But will I be able to make it? Let us see. So I'm hopping the 14 here, hopping over the 8. Almost made it, pretty close. Couple of balls almost went in, one ball went in. Actually, accidentally knocking my 11 ball. And so I only have one ball left on the table here. And you can see Courtney is quickly down already, not doing too much thinking. Not that he needs to, but he's not doing much thinking. He does have a problem still that he needs to solve, which is the 7 and the 5. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does here. He cuts that in. Maybe played that way too hard. Should have cut that with a little bit more side spin and with a little less speed. So now you can see him calling a safe again. And he's playing a locked up safety, I guess. Okay, so that's not too bad. But it doesn't do him much justice then. So even though he has hidden me from my ball, he hasn't really developed and made it easier for himself if he was to get a ball in hand. Now I have a very shallow rail edge here, and what I'm looking at here is just trying to, I'm calling the 14, but at the same time I'm trying to just edge the cue ball to bring it down table. And oh there, I missed that kick. I missed that kick really bad. All I needed was just a little touch on that 14 and Courtney would have been in trouble, but I did eventually miss the shot here. Alright, well, it seemed as if he had everything in mind here. The 7 could clearly pass. So he's just going to knock it in, knock in the 5 and play perfect position here on the 8 to remove me from the table here. Alright, so that was a nice little hustle there. Some key things to take from that is you've got to recognize when it is that you have a problem on the table. And the important thing here is that I actually tried to get my problem out. I did eventually got fortuitous in terms of the decision that I made to bank that 13. I got the 11. I could have run the rack out, but I callously missed that 11 ball using the bridge. And that's just something that happens to each and every one of us here. Let's jump into rack number 2 here with Courtney. I eventually came back on the table, knocked out a couple of opponents, and then I have Courtney that I have to play here on the hill. So Courtney has one more rack to win. I'm going to try to see if I could stop him here. He happens to be playing really good on this day here. And again, that side rail break, which is less productive. Well, it's more productive in terms of the spread, but it's less productive in terms of me getting a ball down. And this could spell some trouble, because if the table is open, as I've said many times over, the players here, they are strong B-level players, but they are players that are not very consistent with getting the same result all the time. So they play very well, they pocket very well, they do a lot of things very well. But what they lack, in my opinion, as an instructor and as a player who observes them a lot and learns from them, is that they're not very consistent with the results that they get. Now Courtney has a chance here. Fairly open table, couple of problems to solve as expected. And he's now, I think he decided to take the solids. I think he's having some sort of discussion with somebody on the side here. I think he decided to take the solids and he's just going here. He doesn't really have much choices here. Alright, so he decides to go for some sort of safety or containing shot. He has the one ball that's tied up down there, so he definitely has his problem. I think I'm in a stronger position in the rack at the moment. But he hasn't done much here because he gave me the 11 ball pretty easy. It was an easy carom off the 3. I'm in full command, even though I have a problem with the 14 ball that is very close to the 8. I should be able to play position and get onto that. So let's have a look here. Playing the 15 with inside spin. Oh, trying to knock out the 14. That was a great attempt there. It's not too bad. Very aggressive there by Apexelgenio. I was very successful in knocking out the 8. Could have almost scratched as well. So knocked in that ball again. I'm a little bit concerned about the 13. I'm not sure if I'm able to see the 13. I don't look concerned based on my body language. So maybe I can get the 13 in. It's a little bit tricky here. So let's see. I have this 9 ball. I have the 10 ball. I have the 13 ball. I have another ball near the 3 here. Definitely can see the 13, so I'm going for it. Let's try to hold position then, because I couldn't really do much from where I was. I could barely see the 13, as you can see it there. Just barely knock it in. That's already mentally leaving myself tough. Already leaving myself tough here. And as I said at the beginning of the video, guys, these are 2 rocks that Courtney got the best of me in, because I tried to run out even with problems looming large. I was trying to use my shot making ability to save in there. There you can see I potted the 14. I was trying to actually bump into the 4, but it slid right between the 4 and the 9, which now changes the whole dynamic of the game. Because now I can still see that ball that is near to the 3, but to get back position on the 9, it's going to be a little tricky. And I don't have any choice at the moment because I cannot bank the 9 ball. So I'm going to try to roll this in. Try to thin it into the side. You can see that I'm double checking my angle. I'm trying to avoid. I'm not even sure if the angle is going to beat the 5. It looks to be going very close to the 5. So I've got to try to play it a bit hard so it bumps off the rail and give me some sort of look. Oh no, that's trouble. So yet again, another bad positional play. The ideal thing here, I'm not sure what I did incorrectly. Maybe the angle naturally went into the 5. I was actually trying to cheat it. I just wanted to get a look at the 9 at some sort. But nothing came out of that for me then. I'm now snookered, and yet again I have to do another jump shot. And this is a much more difficult jump shot. Much more difficult jump shot. There's no guarantee that I could make this. There's a jump bank available now that I'm looking at it, but I'm not sure if I even considered making that shot, because that one ball looms or creates a bigger pocket. I could come off the rail, off the one into the corner, but I don't think that I even considered it. I think I'm very much concerned about just making contact with the 9, because I cannot give Courtney ball in hand at this stage. Just having a little distraction there. It's a really tricky position at the moment, and just having someone talking to you or distracting you in the moment, you really have to be very disciplined in terms of getting up and not shooting. This is what a lot of players are very guilty of at the amateur level. Once they are distracted by something or someone, they eventually shoot the shot, and then they do not take accountability for the lack of discipline. You have to just be able to just get up in the moment, even though you're in stroke, get up and recalculate. So here, I'm going to be trying to jump this 9. It's a bit tricky. Remember that the table that we're playing on now, it hasn't been wrapped at the time. Oh, I made contact with the 9, but the cue ball went hopscotching off the table, and now this spells trouble, because Courtney's on the hill and needs one game to take this particular event that we're keeping here. And these are just a couple of the rocks that I extracted from this tournament. So Courtney has his chance to capitalize, and as you can see, he didn't really have to do much. I kind of self-inflicted my own wounds. Well, the wounds that I'm getting now, or the wounds that I've gotten in this particular video, were self-inflicted, because I kept attacking even when the opportunity wasn't as clear. And this is just one of the things that I'm going to take away from 2023 to go into 2024. It's just really being very aware of when the rock is unable to be run. I'm not going to say that I'm going to be perfect. I'm going to be much more aware of when these situations occur in order for me to win more rocks. Now, I try to do a lot of what the professionals do. They get out no matter what. No matter how it is, they get out. I don't know how they do it, but they do it every single time. And that's exactly what I was trying to do here. But eventually I left a fairly good player here. Oh, that's a little tricky. He's still okay because he has a pot. And the natural angle from the tree after the cut goes 2 rails, perhaps 3 rails towards the 7. So this is good. Oh, that's pretty good. You can hear a lot of talking in the background by my friends cheering me on, hoping for Courtney not to win. But Courtney has landed perfectly on the 7. You can see that stroke wasn't as clean and as smooth. You can hear the friends cheering. But lots of inconsistencies in his stroke, in his game. But it works for him. And I guess it's safe to say, who am I to really say otherwise? Great job there by Courtney. Great out. Waited for your chance. Capitalized when you got it. And that's crucial. That's important. Alright? I want to thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you next time in another tutorial. So until then, keep on practicing and do well.